Warning, this video is not targeted to kids and may be inappropriate to younger audiences. Your discretion is advised. Hello, dudes and dudettes. It's your favorite Reject Gamer Mix17 here, and we are once again back with another Minecraft Lessons. Yeah. Of course, I am still having a hard time on Uncharted. I'm terrible, I know. So, yeah. Anywho, ignoring that for a second, what I will say is, yeah, today we are going to be working with villagers. These pesky mobs here that are something else. Oh yeah, forgot about this. Anywho, while that happens for a second. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. That wasn't supposed to happen at all. Anywho, I guess I'll just start off with this thing here first. Anywho, so villagers, we've always been able to trade with them, unless you count the very first ones. Then that's a whole different story. Those suckers were weird. Anywho, besides those ones though, the villagers now that we have are very, how would you say, interesting. There we go. I guess we'll just stick with interesting, because at this rate I don't know how else to describe it. Like, anyway, as I just destroy this and pick that up, there we are. There's the beauty. But yes, the villagers have, of course, evolved over time, and they tend to stare at players, which is very weird, but whatever. Since the pillager update, these guys have had impressive differences, or a different appearance, which I absolutely love because, well, for one thing, each villager now varies between each biome, but also varies in their own designs with what job type they have. Now, before we get started with that, let me start off with this sucker, because this guy's actually going to take a while. So, first of all, when it comes to zombie villagers, they were always a very pesky thing. So what you want to do, if you have zombie villagers and you manage to keep one alive long enough, for you to get hold of a potion of weakness and a golden apple, which now the recipe for golden apples is golden carrots surrounded on an apple in a crafting table, I mean. And all you gotta do is just throw your... Oh, okay, that worked either ways. Throw your potion of weakness at the zombie villager and feed it an apple. And of course the thing will make that noise, it'll start shaking violently, and of course it'll have these weird crimson or no, I think crimson colors, or just really different shades of red. Anywho, while we let that guy do his break dancing, haha, we shall move on to these guys, you know, the ones that are actually alive. Now, it took me, for one thing, it took me a long time before I could actually find out every single one of these things. It took me, I think, about a good week before I could find out which crafting tables they were, or crafting stations, there we go. And apparently the crafting stations that the villagers can work at is, of course, the cartography table. I can never... cartographic table? Cartographic, whatever. This thing, which is the flinching table. I always forget that thing for some reason. Here, of course, the upgrade gear. I think it had a different name at one point. Oh, never mind. It's still called the smithing table, but it makes more sense as the upgrade gear. Blast furnace. Wait. Smelting furnace, blast... Wait. I swear to God, I always get this wrong. Blast furnace, smoker, composer, or decomposer? No, just composer. Barrel. Did they change the name of this thing? Cauldron. Of course, the almighty powerful brewing stand. The grind table, or grind table grindstone. I always say that. The lectern, I mean, and of course the cutting stone? Stone cutter. Close enough. I always get the names wrong. Hey, look! Never mind. This guy didn't take that long. At all. Which is very surprising. And, yeah, that's for one thing. That's how you secure a zombie villager. So, hooray for that. Anywho, back to this. But yes, these, I think, 13 stations in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 stations. I just wonder was 13. Huh. Oh well. These 12 crafting stations are what these villagers require in order to differentiate themselves with each of their jobs, including give you very interesting trades. Of course, you could differentiate these ones to the ones who are complete hobos, which are these guys with green cloth over them. They're completely useless, except for bait. And then the villagers who have absolutely nothing on them. If I could find one, like, holy crap. Apparently this village has a job for everyone. Now, if only the world could be that way. Anywho, moving on past that, each of these villagers' jobs will, of course, give them specialized items that are required in their job. Now, the reason why I wanted to show the cured villager is because of two things. One, it's still part of the villagers thing. And two, because if you end up doing that, or curing a zombie villager, every single, or at least the majority of them, I don't think it has a range. Yeah, no, it does have a range. Just about every single villager will start giving you discounts on their, well, their stuff. And as you, except for this guy for some reason. Okay, so there's a limit, I guess, or a range even, because these guys could have came from nowhere. Anywho, but yes, as you can see, this was originally either. I'm not gonna even try to. This here was originally 32 raw flesh for 1 emerald. Now it's just 1 raw flesh for 1 emerald, which is very good of a trade, to be honest. But yeah, this is basically the information for just all the basic functions of how these villages work, trade, and how they function. A few other bits of detail is that if you're trying to grow a village, what you have to do is that you have to have multiple beds. Originally, it used to be doors. I remember that. And for some reason, I would always have such an issue with that. But now it is, in fact, beds. You need a number of beds for the same amount of villagers. You can't get any more, and if you get less, well, then that's because the population is either still growing or someone died. Along with that, iron golems have a chance of spawning naturally by having enough beds. I think the bed count is somewhere between 10 to 20 beds. I want to say it's 10. But I could be wrong. Somewhere between those two amounts, and within a specific range, they can actually spawn naturally. And of course, those suckers will protect these guys. Another way that you could also get discounts is, and I've even briefly showed this in a previous video, not a Minecraft Lessons, but in fact a Minecraft episode, to where if you manage to fend off a raid attack, you will get something kind of like the Hero's Fortune, or Hero's something. Hero discount, I think it was. And basically the villagers will sell or buy or whatever the hell these trades, I guess we'll just call them, because these things are confusing, for cheap as well, much like how saving a zombie villager, or curing a villager, zombie villager, whatever the heck you want to call it. I briefly showed that in a previous episode, which was, I think, called My First Raid, or Pillager Raid, one of those two. And it was me, Panda, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Kyle was there. And we basically just fended off an entire raid. Oh, Trey was there too. And we ended up getting the hero's discount. So that's always another way to get it. But of course, even though the thing has great rewards, it's also a big risk. And lastly, as well, is that the way that villagers now breed is they will take up, if I'm not mistaken, both potatoes, carrots, which there's no carrots around here, and that's it. Both potatoes, carrots, oh, and beetroot. Beetroot, one of those two. And that's about it, really. They will use those raw food, and they're mostly the farmers. The farmers will actually will harvest and replant the whatever it is that they're planting and stuff. It's like the three things I just mentioned, and they will share it along with the community of villagers, and that's how they breed, really. After they share, more villagers will share with each other, and they will often show hearts of breeding, much like how animals do, which makes me question sometimes. And of course, the breeding process will only happen if there's enough beds within the village, which is also within this general range area. I also don't know what the range is, because it's kind of confusing with some bits of detail. Also, the kids don't really don't take a job, of course. And yeah, that's really about it. You're free, sir. You are now cured of, I don't know, syphilis. Anywho, but yeah, that's really about it. Just the quick rundown of what these villagers do. The crafting crafting stations, I mean, are of course mostly able to be player use. The stone cutter, you just bring stone in here, gives you the option to cut whatever. The lectern, you could put books on here and read it off. Grindstone, you could grind off enchantments and gain some XP. Brewing stand, you already know, the all-powerful brewing stand. You can brew potions, which I showed in the previous episode during my potion brewing. I think I should update that one day. I don't know, I'll think about it. The cauldron, which is kind of useless, you just throw a bucket in here. You could dye the water so I could dye your leather, or just refill bottles, but it's mostly useful for leather now. The barrel, which acts like a normal chest, just, you know, you could access it no matter how you place it down. The composer, you just take whatever types of food, like, I don't know if you can use meat. I don't think you can, but you could use baked potatoes, or cake, or I think you use dried kelp, pumpkin pie, cookies. I don't think you can use soup. I don't know if you can use bread, but you could use stuff like this. And yeah, once it reaches full, it'll make this design, and of course you get bone meal, so hooray for that. Smoker will just cook food faster. Blast furnace will just smelt stuff faster, mostly ores. Sadly, it doesn't work on stone, sand, and a few other things I'm not remembering at the moment. And this here, the smithing table, when it first was introduced, it was useless. It was completely useless. It was just as useless as the flinching table. You can't do anything with the flinching table. But now, with the recent update of the Nether update, you can now use the smithing table to upgrade your gear. What does that mean? Well, if I'm not mistaken, which I have been known to be mistaken, I'm just going to grab a few of these just in case. And I'm probably going to just grab... I'm not 100% sure if it'll work on the wooden one. Okay, where's the ores? Like, seriously? Here they are. You just take some of this, you take some of this, and... Again, I don't know if cobblestone would actually work, but it's only one way to find out. Nope, didn't work there. Alright. Now, I don't know if you can... No, you can't jump. Alright, well, nope, alright. Well, that just debunked everything, but this should work. No? Alright. Now I feel like a complete idiot. I never actually use this thing very often, but I know how it works. So it looks like this instead. Fun stuff. Another good thing about this though is that it does in fact help out if you have enchanted armor. From what I can remember is that if you had some type of weird enchantments, I'm not even yeah, well, why not? If you had some type of awesome enchantment, like let's say you had I don't know, Unbreaking for some reason. Unbreaking, actually power does. I'm not gonna take power. Unbreaking and Smite and oh, whoops, not Fire Inspector. I was actually gonna click on Knockback. Haha. I forgot. I gotta click on it twice. Knockback. And where's the thing? Doop. I was severely unprepared for this. Say you had like some awesome enchantments or something that's impressive. You just come here, toss this in here, toss this in here, and you get a more powerful sword, mostly netherite, alongside with your stuff, really. Just your enchantments, which really helps out. It even makes an awesome sound. And lastly, this here allows you just to make multiple different types of maps of different sizes, or different variations, or copies of maps, and yeah, that's about it. That is basically it for the short version of the villagers, including their crafting stations works. And yeah, that's where I'm gonna end off the episode here. Again, I'm still having a hard time with the Uncharted video, so I don't know how long that's gonna take. And yeah, that is about it, everyone. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.